What's good, y'all? DJ TMac coming at you from my new home studio here in Colorado. Big shout out to Klever Skemes for coming through and blessing the studio. First Colorado hip-hop artist to do that. I speak with him about, making music as far as production, rapping, collaborating. He's a filmmaker also, does photography. We talk about all that and a whole bunch more. So thank you so much for checking out this conversation. Be sure to connect with us below. I have all the information in the description. A lot of good stuff down there. Make sure you connect with us, and I hope you enjoy the conversation. What's good, everybody? DJ T-Mac back here to have another great hip-hop conversation. We have a man of many crafts with us today. He's a hip-hop artist, producer, photographer, filmmaker, tiler. He'll tile the shit out of your bathroom and your kitchen, it looks like, too. And, we're going to find out what else he does. But I got my man Klever Skemes up in here with me today. Thank you for taking the time, coming over, blessing the studio. First Colorado artist in here. Yeah, man. It's cool to have you in here. It's been a little bit over a year since I've been digging into the underground scene, doing interviews with underground artists and listening to your work. So I'm excited to talk about it.
I appreciate it.
And hopefully get a good breakdown.
Right on, man. I appreciate you tapping in for sure.
Absolutely. So let's just start off. Colfax Blues Productions. That's your film.
Yeah. So
just CEO, owner. Break that down.
So essentially, just a production company where we want to tackle all avenues of TV, media, movie, commercials, all kinds of stuff like that. So I got a camera like about a year and a half ago. Didn't really use it. And then one of my buddies, his name is Connor Toulier, super dope cinematographer. He shot our videos for Gold Rush, all the Willie videos actually. Mm-hmm. So he was kind of my in to just some common knowledge. And I started the business this year, man. I'm fully licensed and with the state and I even got insurance. So
super official.
It's
got insurance.
It's blowing up this year, bro. So,
fire. I'm glad we could get you into the top of the year then,
right on, man. I appreciate that, man.
But like I said, a little bit over a year I've been tapping into the underground scene. First Colorado hip hop artist to come through. You came on my radar through No Squares in My Circle and, Finesse, digging into his catalog. We're going to talk about Yikes, break that down a whole bunch. But before we get into the work that I've been listening to, I kind of want to start at the beginning, where which kind of craft or art form were you interested in first? Music, film, and kind of how did it grow?
That's a good question. So when I was in elementary school, I started drawing in like a black book because I actually seen my cousin Manic. I used to go to his house and shit and used to see the tags and shit that they were doing. So I went home and just started hitting the black book. High school, I think I found my homie Everett hit me with a Necro album. It was Brutality Part 1. And that was when I made the transition from tagging to making beats. I didn't even really think about rapping. And then I would say about college, about 2021 is when I took it serious. It really was I could do this. People were giving me props, more than usual. So I just went from there, man. And then started rapping because I was like, fuck it, might as well start rapping too. Because in all honesty, I'm picky as hell. Willie's next level, so that made sense to me, right? Finesse is next level. My cousin's next level. So if you look at anybody that I work with, it's a very unique and how would you say I'm very what's the word?
Unique. I mean, unique is a great way to describe all the artists that you work with.
They're original in their own rights, right?
Yes.
I know, you could say they all take from somebody. They take from other rappers, of course, their favorite rappers, but I think they're all really good at turning it into their own thing.
Sure,
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You got Willie saying, I said before verses and shit, where it's hard to that was like my number one thing when I started writing, was like thinking of what I would say my ad lib before the verse would start, right? And like,
Yeah, you got to hit him with something good
yeah,
before
right?
the
Like,
good even comes in.
yeah, right. The yo yo yo, all that shit. So it just, like it made sense to me, So
Interesting. So music was sort of where you started. So I did some digging, doing some research, and I saw on SoundCloud 2014 is when, or at least the instrumental, that the earliest song that you have on there. Is that sort of around the time that you were making music? How long were you making stuff before it kind of came to the public even?
yeah. So like that was probably 16 or 17. I was just playing at it. I didn't really. It was funny because I went away from my SoundCloud for like 2 or 3 years, and then when I came back, I had like 200,000 plays on that song.
There's a lot of plays.
And now
on
there's
some of them
like almost
tracks.
1 million. So I was like, what the fuck is going on? So that was about 2021, when I was like, I need to take it serious. This makes sense. It's doing something. So, and I mean, I've been working with my pops remodeling houses and shit for a minute. So the tile thing and all the remodel shits was what I did before even music too. So I've always had my hands on something.
Yeah. Man of many crafts. We're going to keep going back to that today. When did you first started getting involved in like photography and I want to say filmmaking? I don't want to say music videos because you put a lot more effort into them than just what looks to be a standard hip hop video with,
Right.
simple stuff happening.
Yeah, like, so I would say photography was obviously, I think, what I thought everyone should start with, right? That's kind of how I think all the directors that I fuck with have really taken that route that they've taken. So I started with film, and I lived with this cat, and he shot film all the time. And he's a bitch ass, so I'm not going to mention who he is. But essentially, I got the idea of shooting film from this cat because he was like, it was easy, right? And then honestly, I just randomly, as I looked up YouTube videos, I ran into like lighting being the most important thing. So that really was, then it became, okay, well, what is this part of cinematography that's like so important, right? Because they'll actually have a photographer shoot, what they would call a director of photography, shoot the whole thing, photographs like on top of actually shooting the cinematography, the film. So I knew I had to like take that first route of photography to understand the lighting techniques, to do the black and white. And then, man, I just YouTube, bro. YouTube is Bible. I did hours and hours. I mean, you could ask my cousin Manic. You can ask my parents, any of my family, like anyone that's been around me the last 2 years, a lot. And I have been obviously with my family because of COVID and shit a lot. And they'll tell you that that's all I've been doing when I have any time. So I think I'm almost my 10,000 hours in, truly, and it's
Sweet,
starting
man.
to work, right? It looks. I think now I'm happy with how it looks too. So yeah, it's getting there.
That's awesome, man. Let's talk a little bit more about the music. Your production style, I would say it sounds very sample-based, gritty, grimy, underground, but you also have like a variety. There's trap beats mixed in with a lot of the projects that I listen to. How would you kind of describe your style, and who are some of your influences as far as music production goes? Or just music in general, like MC?
Sure. Well, I actually heard, obviously, Alchemist is like the first thing that comes to mind, and I actually heard Masterpiece Theater by Willie the Kid and Alchemist. That was like my first taste of like that type of those types of beats. But before that, it was truly Premier. Like Gangstar that's probably my all-time favorite. That's who truly influences me the most, from rhymes to beats and all that. So I mean, that's a given. But who else I really tap into that really influenced me too is like I really like Q-Tip's production. I like Holy Grail was like Timberland is like amazing. That's when I really tapped into too. That kind of shifted me to the like trappy kind of like more
Elements
contemporary.
to it, right? little bit modern, yeah.
But I listened to this cat Saba, I think is how you pronounce it, and I really fuck with like that production. My homie Ryan Allen, he lives out here. He's definitely been an influence on me the last couple years. He's super super crazy. He's got a couple good credits with some people. So really, yeah. I mean, I feel like that sounds basic, but truly, like Alchemist and Primo are probably my top influences.
I mean, that's not basic. Those are like legendary people who
Yeah,
who've
I mean,
done
I guess
some
the
legendary
answer,
things.
right, is basic. Yeah. Like, but if you like, let's say you ask me my favorite rappers, I wouldn't say like Biggie and Tupac either, right? So Willie would be on the top 5. I fuck with Cool G Rap is like, I feel like he should be in top 3, and he's like really not talked about.
Absolutely.
Necro is insane. Ill Bill, those are Gore-Tex, those are like my super influences as far as rhyming and stuff. So yeah, but the beats for sure, and Necro too. Necro is crazy at production. The Black Brutality album is insane. I would say all of his from like 95 to like 2005 is just the best.
I need to
production.
tap in, honestly. I need to tap in.
No, you gotta tap in. Yeah, Necro's crazy. I fuck with him.
How do you like source your music as far as like getting samples? You know, I talked about it sounding sample based. How much is it sample based versus, you know, stuff that you play? Do you actually play any instruments or?
Sure.
Break that down a little bit for me. Where do you source your music?
I mean, I've fucked around with the guitar quite a bit. The piano, since I was, you know, pretty young too, like elementary. My pops has always played guitar, so that was probably the first instrument that I was hitting. And then I would say, I probably... Wait, ask that again, sorry.
No, you good. So, you know, people get their music from different sources a lot nowadays. People can online dig and just download from YouTube. You know, I have tons of records here that you could dig through. How do you like to, you know, get your music and sample stuff?
Okay, yeah. So yeah, like I would tap into like the guitar when I was young. My pops always had the guitar around. They always had a piano around, a keyboard. But my pops and my gramps used to go to this record store here. I don't know if you've heard of it yet. Wax Trax.
I've been to Wax Trax. My first visit to Colorado in like 2017.
Yeah, so Wax Trax is like, that's our holy grail right now of vinyls. So don't be flooding that fucking shop either, taking all my shit. But no, there's a couple others. I don't want to shout all of them, but Wax Trax, I feel like you should go there. Actually, spend your money there, because I love
that's
that
a spot
place.
to go to. It's
the
a nice
owner's
spot.
nice. Yeah. He's not a dick. All the people that work there have been always super helpful.
I think Moose had some vinyl in there, right?
Yeah, Moose has vinyl in there. We had a couple Go Rush go in there.
Nice.
Yeah, they have like a this week underground section, and it always has the best shit, and it's always sold out. You know, they only have 2 of each record, so you got to get in there quick. But yeah, Wax Trax is probably the main place I would go get records. Easy listening section, and I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on fucking 99-cent records. So yeah, that's if it's a secret anymore, that's really it. Just putting in the fucking time. You just got to grab a record that looks cool and start going.
That's funny. Half of these are purchased, or most of them are purchased. I would say a quarter of them are actually from the radio station that, my show is on, because they have a whole bunch that they're selling, and then they have a bunch of free bins too. So, every time after my show, you always catch me going through there. I'm leaving with 5 records every time after my show. So you never know what you're going to find. And there's a lot of just like interesting old music out there that you're not actually going to find online that I feel like is just on the vinyl records as of right now.
Like their metal and punk and rock section is fucking huge too. Like that place really, really does their due, diligence and researching and putting new sounds too out there, and just really tapping into what is good. And that's really why I fuck with Wax Trax. They have a whole other side of their building is all CDs and shit too. So it's not just vinyl. Like you can go get all your punk shirts from there. Like all my Minor Threat, my Misfits, Black Flag shirts, and all that shit is from Wax Trax. So yeah, I would fuck with them for sure.
Nice spot. I haven't been down there yet. We're working on getting the bread up, but that's the first spot we're gonna go to.
You got to.
Speaking of like MCs and producers, you mentioned Q-Tip, Alchemist. You know that album Step Brothers is one that I like a lot.
Wow, Step Brothers is crazy, bro.
Yeah, so you know, I think
Even
some of my
Marcy,
favorite
too.
MCs are producers. So I
Right.
got a list here: Large Professor, Dilla, RZA, Lord Finesse, Eric Sermon, Q-Tip, Doom.
I guess I did forget. So Finesse, right? Lord Finesse is definitely there too, because Big L was probably the first really grimy shit that I was tapping into. So I did forget Lord Finesse. But yeah, what were you continue? My bad.
I mean, that's pretty much the
Not
list.
just like-
Those are
yeah.
like my favorites, people that I like the most.
Right,
and
right.
producers are just able to, they made the track so they're able to find a different flow and kind of pattern within it that
Right.
other MCs, even top tier MCs, don't really get to tap into. Pete Rock is another one. I got a whole bunch of
Pete's
Pete Rock
fire.
instrumentals.
I fuck with that Smoke
Soul
Dizza album
Survivor.
they did. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
hell
that Smoke Dizza one. Hell yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck was that called again?
Don't Smoke Rock.
Bro, that shit's crazy, bro.
Right?
I fuck with that album heavy. I forget about. It's funny because I forget about Dizza, but I feel like he's doing something else besides rapping. You know,
Yeah.
that's really making his bread. So I do forget about Dizza. I fuck with him heavy.
There's so much music. You know, I just in the underground scene that's like, you know, not even very well known. It's hard to tap into everything, let alone remember some of these really good albums
There's
that
too
we
much
like, right?
you could say too, right? There's a lot. There's too much. It's
I don't know,
super saturated,
oversaturation, but you
which
know,
is also
people-
why I started making videos because
everybody likes what they like. So
yes, yeah,
right.
it makes sense, yeah.
But that's why you started making videos. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, that's why I started making videos though. Truly too, is because the rap and hip hop stuff is just it's super monotonous right now. It's very watered down. I don't want to say it sucks because obviously that's pretty much my catalog, you know, besides the old stuff and it's timeless stuff. But that's why I started really trying to shoot as best as I possibly can, as quick as I can too, because a lot of people aren't that good at it, I would say, and it's I feel like it's an untapped. There's a lot, but it's an untapped industry, I think.
There's an element missing.
Yeah, because
Something
now
missing.
the cameras are cheaper too, right? So people can get their hands on really good cameras. Anybody now, right?
Mhm.
It's the same thing as getting, 2 turntables and a fucking mixer, or
Yeah.
a computer and a mic to record your rap. So
Mhm.
it's accessible, but it's like people aren't patient, man. You gotta really you gotta sit down and do the work. And as you grow up, you obviously, I'm 30 now. It sucks that it takes a super long time for you to really get your, catch your stride. But I'm like in it now, right? I'm in my zone. So this is a good place to be.
Yeah, I'm 32, man. I saw a funny
Hell yeah.
thing about turning
Hell yeah,
30 and
yeah.
little kids acting like it was the Stone
I'm
Age.
telling you, homie. Like,
Yo,
what?
that was funny. That's crazy.
Yeah, that shit I was posting was stupid. Those little ass kids. What was he saying? He's like, if you're 30, you're old. She's like, what do you say? If you're from the Stone Age or some shit. I'm like, damn, we're
Yeah.
30, homie.
Yeah,
shit.
that's crazy. Yeah, I work with people who are, in their 20s or some
Right.
teenagers, and it feels like a different thing now. Like, I don't even know the music that they're listening
Shit,
to. I don't enjoy it. It's weird.
It's
right?
awful. I mean, I don't know though. It's funny too. I feel like it's mad entertaining. I feel like that's what everything is based on now. Is how entertaining is it before anything else. So it makes sense.
Yeah,
Little
that's funny
fucking
though.
assholes.
30s hitting the stride, man. I'm hoping
Yeah,
to
fuck kids.
get into that stride, here in Colorado. But yeah, forget them kids, man. Don't worry about them. Brush
fuck
that
them
off.
kids, man.
Let's talk about your process about working with the artist. Finesse fully produced Yikes with him and Royal Penthouse EP, few projects with Willie the Kid. We can talk about other stuff you want to mention too, but what is I'm sure working with different artists is different, but what is your sort of general process when working with the artists? Let's start with how do you choose them? You kind of talked about that you're picky. Do you seek them out? Are they your friends? Manic is your cousin you mentioned.
Yeah. So Manic is my cousin, my blood cousin. So I mean, he's always been around, but we didn't really know. We didn't start really fucking with each other on a musical level until I was about 16 or 17, because I remember we went to a restaurant and for my grandma's birthday, And he was like, "You want to ride with me?" So I ride with him down to the restaurant, and he's bumping like Gore-Tex, "The Art of Dying," I think it was. And I was like, "Oh shit, you this is your shit." And he's like, "This is my shit." So I was like, "Damn, we both bumped the same music. We gotta start making music together," because I make beats, and he didn't even know I made beats at the time. So that was kind of like the, okay, now I have something to do, right? I have someone to make beats for and that kind of shit. So our taste was very similar. And then I remember I actually heard Willie. I think it might have been his album with Bronze Nazareth, actually, that I heard. He has a song with Rock Marciano on there. It's the first track. The Living Daylights is the album. And I actually think that was the first rhyme I heard from Willie. And that shit was like, whoa. And then my cousin was like, whoa, we got to do this. Like, it's like the drumless beats and shit. Shout out Bronze, too, because he's actually really one of the few that was the first to do drumless beats. You know, everybody wants to argue who did what. But don't forget Bronze.
Okay.
But so that was like, oh shit, I fuck with Willie. Well, my cousin is like, let's hit him up and let's see if he'll fuck with your beats and shit. So my homie Steve took the initiative because he knows a lot of people and got in touch with Willie. Shout out Steve, Big Steve, and was like, send him some beats. I sent him some beats and he fucked with them. But I will be honest, man, I was green, so I feel like he knew the potential. He could hear the potential because Willie is also very picky, and like such a good and like honest and organic way it happened. It really was like he said no to every beat. I think the first 100 beats, right, and really pushed me, man. I was like,
So he said no, but keep sending them.
Yes.
How does that work? Because
yeah, man. So
I just get no replies.
I'm telling you, man, it was funny. I sent him beats. He was like, cool, I fuck with these. I think he picked one beat, the first like 20 beats I sent him. But that was it. So then I sent him, 20 more. He just kept telling me, keep sending him. And I remember it was truly like 100 beats in. And I was like, oh my God, am I, what is happening?
Yeah.
I was really questioning my whole fucking life and shit. So he finally picked 10 beats. But I caught my stride after about 100 beats because he started really picking them, and I think it pushed me to truly like make good beats and seek out sounds that haven't been heard before and samples that haven't been heard before, and because that's another thing. Like I truly listen to as much music as I can, so much music. I'll find out how many times that's been sampled, or which I'm sure every producer does. It's nothing special, but I feel like if you don't do that, that's where the monotony comes in. So me and Willie hit it off finally, got 10 beats to him. Then we flew him out here to shoot a video, and that's when shit really clicked. Was like, we were really like, oh shit, like we have the same taste in everything, food, fashion designers, music, architecture, places to go shop, and it was dope, man. Willie, I really fuck with Willie. We had V-Don out here in Ito. I really fuck with those two.
What was the first video that you shot? Do you remember?
It was Duck Boots.
Oh, I like that video. That's dope.
That was Duck Boots.
Yeah, I like that song a lot too.
Yes, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, that shit goes hard.
The most magnificent, I sent the clear signal. Warning, let's keep it civil. I scribble my name, blank checks, rather simple. Get the money, I'm sticking to the fundamentals. The milk and honey, guns and butter, milk the game for what it's worth, you lucky. I rock duck boots, bubble coats, Carhartt denim. I'm picking women, duck, goose, never chase them. Grey goose on the oyster, Ciroc lace them. Bad boy, I just mace them. Steady pace them, a marathon, I don't race them. The watch races, white face touching bases, dodging cases. My niggas serve the base on a daily basis. Call a play like an umpire, I'm dumb flyer. I prefer to watch power over empire. My bitch belong on a flyer, juicy papaya. Like a brown skin Maya, mole skin polo pants too advanced for niggas. The fly. All I need is my niggas, a pack of rubber bands, my plastic Glock 40.
What's funny about that song, I'll tell you that in a sec, but it reminded me to tell you that. Mm-hmm. So then anyway, so we flew Willie out here, it clicked, we worked, blah, blah, blah. Then Ito, same thing, man. I was like, Ito still got to get something going here. But that was the first time I was like, okay, I really am at that caliber now. I can fuck with these cats, you know, because Ito, Vidon, and
Gave
Willie
you the confidence after that to like
yeah,
really
they
be like,
really fuck
I'm
with me,
here.
man.
Okay.
And I really like, I took in as much as I can. Being around essentially OGs, I think they're my age, honestly. I don't know how old they are, but I think they're around my age. But to me, they've experienced a lot more.
Sure.
You know, so I really just took all that in. And it really, gave me the confidence to be like, okay, I can do this. And then I met O through one of my homies that I went to high school with. And then shout out Windsor James. He's a pro skater, local
Shout
pro
out.
skater. And also phenomenal producer, and that's his cousin. And I was like, oh shit! Like when I first heard O Finesse and Windsor on the first song that they had ever made together, that shit really blew my mind too. So I was like, oh fuck, I gotta fuck with these cats. And then Tony T was another one. Shout out Tone. That motherfucker's a beast too. I mean, there's a lot of untapped underground shit here, but there's such a fluctuation of people moving here. I think the music is like turns over so much, you know, just how much shit is coming through here. It's really hard to like get into those niches where people fuck with you. I mean, you can't really name anyone out of Colorado who's really
I
done
could have
some
before
dope
O
shit.
Finesse, you know, like I said, I wasn't even too tapped in with it.
Right.
But, you know, listening to him and digging more, found Tone,
Right.
you know. And,
how did you hear? So how did you hear?
So it all started a year ago. Interesting that you mentioned Ito, right? A little Lord Mob connection. The first people I interviewed was G4 Jag and
dope.
his producer Me Fucks.
Hell
That
yeah.
was the first like real in-person interview that I did. That was December of 2 years ago, 2019, 20. I don't know. All these years
dope.
are fucked up now. But
Right.
but you know them, and then Akil Ali, and then listening to more G4. He did an album with the Mussolini.
Yep.
Mussolini, started following him. No Squares in My Circle. O Finesse, you. And, you know, that's kind of how the people I've been interviewing has just kind of been like branching off of a tree. Like, you know, I'm just kind of following a path.
Right.
And interviewing people who I genuinely like enjoy their stuff and want to. There's not many people that message me for stuff or like to play their music. Every now and then it happens, but it's really the people that I genuinely like listen to and
those
wanna
guys
know
are like
more
nice
about.
people too. Like everybody you just mentioned are all like actually super nice people.
I think that's why, you know, almost like you doing the video and messing with those guys, them giving you the confidence. Doing that first couple of interviews with those guys gave me the confidence. Like, okay, I know what I'm talking about.
Right.
I can sort of put together an interview. It's a good conversation. People enjoy it.
No, man,
You know, keep going. Like, I
you're
love
good.
Sway.
You're good, man. You're
I
good
listened
at
to
it,
Sway for a really long time, and you can catch me on YouTube watching interviews all day long.
Doing your research, man.
Doing research, and I just want to know more about the music. The music is great, but I know there's a lot more to the music that we don't know.
Right. True.
So let's talk more about it, man. You know, you talked about your connections with a lot of these artists that I was going to bring up in a little bit. You talked about making all those beats for Willie, sending him 100 beats before, you know, you caught your stride and stuff like that.
Shout out Willie.
What's your process? Do you bring batches of beats to people? Do you sort of make them individually? Do you sit down for a whole day, make beats? This one's for O Finesse. This one's for
those.
Willie.
I would say
everything,
that.
huh?
There's no real reason to my rhyme. Honestly, I make beats when I can. Like I actually haven't made music in a minute because I've been shooting, but that's how all that really transpired. Is just spur of the moment inspiration, I guess. I'll obviously sit down and sit there and work and try to make as many beats as I could, but yeah, there's no real reason to my rhyme on how I would formulate ideas, I guess, for them. And truly, all that was organic too. Gold Rush, we didn't even have the name till Willie came out here, and we were actually talking about what was the concept and how we would make everything correlate. And I remember saying something about we were getting an Airbnb to shoot at. We shot the video at for Doug Boots, and that's in like a super bougie area. So I was like, that's like Gold Rush money. And then Willie was like, oh shit, that's it, Gold Rush. So that was boom, that was it.
That's cool.
Yikes happened because like always says yikes, they always have a catchphrase or something, right? And then sheesh with Tone, that album, he always says sheesh in his rhymes. So I was like, we're just gonna call the fucking album sheesh, man. So
easy enough.
Yeah, So I think that's truly the best way for anything to happen to is just organically. I don't think too much on it.
Speaking of a reason for your rhymes, how do you choose which beats you're gonna rhyme on?
I mean, and if any producer raps, it's the best beats that you make, right?
Okay.
But I didn't really spit as I didn't really take it as serious, I guess, as I do now, because I try to keep up with all these people I work with. But I didn't write any rhymes really when I was working for Willie, like, working toward that Gold Rush album. And
those came out in 2018, 19? What year?
Yeah, I think those were 2018, somewhere like February, I think it was, February 28th.
Okay.
Something like that. And we just... I didn't really rap, so with working with O was actually like a really good learning experience for me too, as far as not having to like coach someone, but having the space to actually produce somebody, right? Like
yes.
O is truly like, produce me. Tell me if my rhymes like this, because his rhymes were dope, but there's obviously things that I was like, okay, this could go there, and he was like, dope, I'm with that, like
open to it.
Yeah, which was like crazy, to me. He really let me kind of direct the whole show, but he just brought in his raps that are fucking stupid fire. So that really made sense to me, and he really gave me that freedom to do that. So I think that's why that came out really well too. But that's when he was like, do a hook on this song. So on Mr. Furley, I did a hook, and then I just was like, okay, I can actually I can fuck with the big dogs on this kind of shit too. So I just started picking the best beats that I made for like that 6 months to a year. And I don't really have anything out I don't have anything official out yet. These are all just singles they're really just beats spur of the moment I like, and I'll write or have a rhyme to it. I'll
just
make
catch
a song,
some inspiration and flow real quick.
and then put it out. Yeah. So, and it's not I don't put it on Spotify or Apple. All my rap shit is on SoundCloud, because I can actually monetize. I make better money, not too much more, but I make better money off SoundCloud and Bandcamp as well. So
yeah, Bandcamp's a big
fuck with me on that
resource
shit.
now. Yeah, tell people where they can follow you. I'm gonna have information in the bio and everything.
Yeah,
but
it's super
people
easy.
Listening, let them know.
Yeah, super easy too. It's just Klever Skemes for Instagram. I don't fuck with Twitter, because Twitter gets you in trouble. That's really it. Instagram. You can fuck with me on there, and SoundCloud, man. Or
and follow
if I see you at a
Colfax
show,
Blues also. Colfax
Blues is on YouTube.
Okay,
And I'm bad at shouting any of this shit out, because this is like not typical for me. So
I got you. We're working together.
Yeah, I
through.
appreciate you, homie. Yeah, so yeah, YouTube. You can catch all my videos on there. Colfax Blues. And then really, YouTube, SoundCloud. You can get Gold Rush on toughkongrecords.com. Obviously, all this
out.
shit.
I looked. They were sold out.
Did it sell out? Oh shit! There might be some on
I was
Fat
Googling,
Beats.
yeah.
There might be some on Fat Beats. But So what else? Apple and Spotify. Obviously, all the Gold Rush shit is on Apple and Spotify. Tidal. Yeah, man. You know what's out there? Just look up Klever Skemes.
Look it up. Look it up. You can find it. I found it.
I'm not good at that shit, but yeah.
Before we talk about more about your work with Finesse and Yikes, do you want to do a like Static Selector producer type album where you get all different MCs? You work with these guys on individual projects. How about doing a producer type album?
I actually, I've been working on that for a long time, actually, and it's changed a lot. I think over the last like 5 years.
I bet. I mean, the sound and everything that's going on has changed, and I'm sure your sound has evolved.
Yeah,
also.
I would love to do that, but I don't know. I think there's a couple more important things that I need to do before I actually put out some, some producer with a bunch of rappers on there. Sorry, I'm gonna light this real quick.
No, you good, bro. And I got this. If you want to get at that too.
Yeah, appreciate you, man.
So you worked with the likes of Rock Marciano. We talked Willie the Kid, Conway, Terminology, Ito. But before we get into, some of those connections, which you kind of already broke down some of them for us, working with O Finesse, that's kind of how you got on my radar. Worked on the Royal Penthouse EP, Yikes, and also No Squares in My Circle. Done videos for him such as Heavyweights. It was a Mussolini video, I think, Blood Diamonds. I'm sure a bunch more.
Front Center we did.
Okay, yep.
What's the other one? Lately, he has a song with Blast 89. Shot a video for.
Yep.
It's actually probably my favorite. I really am like my biggest critic, but I also love the shit I've been putting out too. Like, I love my shit. So, I think my actual favorite video is that Lately one with Blast 89. We went to LA and I went as hard as I could on that. But it came out pretty stellar. So
yeah, all your videos, I enjoy them. You saw when you came in, we had them on the loop.
Yes, thank you, man.
Absolutely. Let's talk about Yikes a little bit. I mean, you talked about you playing piano and guitar. There's a lot of piano and guitar on there. Is that you playing most of it, or samples?
No. So actually, I don't think I've played piano on my beats, but I've never played the guitar on any of them. And then I would say
on
probably
Yikes, man, that guitar is like hitting crazy.
That guitar, that first track is stupid.
And the outro too. Those two are just the guitar. I'm like, who played this? Where did this come from?
Right. No, that shit actually is all sampled. Back. I would say 98% of the shit I do is sampled.
Okay.
Skemes, what the fuck, man? Yo. Check. Yo. Spray up your building like Vandalore. My vandal spark, had to get a handle on my art. My man bought the iron, became Tony Starks. Fear God slacks with the light starts. 1942, for when I feel parts. Weather the storm like a construction man's car heart. Around my parts, my animals, the Noah's Ark. Count money in the motel, outside the Ozarks. The love is never warm from a cold heart. Bitches keeping interest like a loan shark. I'm wise and handsome, plus my tone's dark. I never leave the palace without the chrome cock. Had capers and salmon locks on a cassette. Waving farewell as I sail from the dock.
For sure, but I'll play some keys here and there. On all the beats I actually rap on, I produce those. So there are those, yeah.
Interesting. But let's talk a little bit more about the project. So it has I want to say classic hip hop vibe, but there's a lot of different sounds throughout it. There's some trap songs, obscure samples and loops, songs with real heavy drums, songs with no drums, a full body of work, I would say. We talked about the electric guitar, mostly samples. I really enjoyed the mixing on Bob Powell, how you went back and forth to the different speakers with the piano sample on that. I like that. Just how you flipped a lot of them.
Nice, dude. Yeah, so that, I would say, too, that took us a long time.
What was the first song off that project that kicked it off? Do you remember? That you recorded?
Yeah, it was Kim K. That's on SoundCloud. For free if anybody wants to bump that shit. You don't have Apple or the other shit, but that was the first song we actually put together, shot a video for and everything. Didn't even think about doing an album, and then I did Sheesh with Tone, and we featured him on that. And then that's when I was like, we need to do an album. And I think he was like he knew that, so he was already ready with his ideas, his rhymes. And he was just super, super go mode. So, yeah, that all just worked out pretty good. But that took a long time, man. It took us 1.5 years to truly map out. And that's why it sounds so different, I think, too. We went through, like, the Freddie Gibbs phase. Like, when
different phases
Fetty
almost
dropped, yeah. Like, because I know a lot of people don't like to listen to music, I guess, when they're producing and shit to not get outside influence. And I guess if I'm really honing in, I try not to listen to a lot of shit. But I listen to music to know, like, what people fuck with, too. Like, I really try to emulate the people that are doing good work, you know? Because if you can keep up, or you can make songs that sound similar but not, your own style, yeah. Then you're doing something right. I have no issue saying, like, that's truly how I work as far as trying to get to that caliber. You got to emulate the greats to be one. So
absolutely. What do they say? Legends, idols become your rivals, right? Something like that. Whose idea was it for the hidden song for the outro? How did that come together?
Yeah, so
Because it's dope.
we really I fuck with O2 because he really fucks with '90s music, like old grunge and shit, and he really understands like what good music is. On top of all the soul and shit he listens to, but like that's where we really clicked. I think was like '90s grunge and like just Alice in Chains and Soundgarden and all that kind of shit. Like it's dope to see fucks with that kind of shit. So I was like, yo, they have secret song like hidden songs on their albums. Let's just throw a hidden song on there. And we had a track with Ice Lord that we just were kind of sitting on, figuring out if we were gonna do that as like a hot single or if we were just gonna what we were gonna do with that. So I was like, let's just put it as a hidden track, and that's just how that happened. So.
It's cool, man. I don't think I found it for a little while because there's quite a big gap.
Yeah, we didn't really tell people too.
There's quite a big gap.
But
tip for you there, everybody. Go listen to Yikes. You got to listen to it front to back. Don't skip.
We just thought it was cool. There's no real.
It's cool.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I thought it was paying homage to the '90s like Korn albums and shit. So
nice. Yeah. Talking about like my production, I did it for a little bit, and I did do a project with somebody, and something that I tried to incorporate from like the '90s style, especially from like Pete Rock albums, was that he'd have like 10 seconds of a beat before the song or after the song.
Yeah, right.
And you're like, why isn't there anybody rhyming on that? Why isn't that a whole thing? So that's
let
something
it breathe, man.
So that I tried to do too. So it's cool to give homage to, your influences and things like that, and create for yourself.
Yeah,
it's really dope.
Yeah, we thought it was cool.
Let's talk about No Squares in My Circle, because that's really the first time I heard any of your work.
I forget I'm on that shit.
You have you produced, I think, Second Nature, Incidentals, and Pastor Lies.
That's right. Yes.
We got it right here.
Yes.
And on the back it says arranged by Klever Skemes.
Yes, I did arrange that as well.
Talk about arranging this beast, because there's a lot of shit on here.
Funny too, because it really, I mean, that's why I forget how much I did on this, because it was easy. Like, these cats know what the fuck they're doing. Nothing's hard to do with these cats. They're already ready to go. They have their concepts and all their shit ready to go. So we were in Cali, and we were just throwing beats. I was throwing beats at Moose, and it just built itself in like a weekend. It was pretty dope, actually.
Wow.
It was dope to watch. I have a couple videos. Actually, I need to put one on YouTube. I have a couple videos of that week, the behind the scenes. But yeah, I mean, it just kind of like formulated itself while we were there. I did a rhyme on one of these too. I actually spit a verse. Yeah, it was fun, man. This was dope. This is a dope album.
Yeah, it's a really cool project. And, No Squares on My Circle Part 2 is coming. And I saw Finesse work a little bit. You talked about them being professional. He's ready to go. When he's in the studio, he's not messing around. There's a lot of good stuff he's laying down, track after track after track. So it's cool to get a little bit of your insight on there. Do you know what the first track recorded for that project was, or?
I don't know. I mean, we were in go mode, man. I think they actually had a couple songs done before we got there. But and it just happened, and then they like how I arranged all the other shit, so they just sent me all this shit. I don't know what was the first recorded, but I know like a good portion, like 3/4 of that album were recorded there.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, so.
Do you have a favorite track or sort of few track sequence of the album? Like I said, it's a lot of songs. There's a lot of different vibes through there. But do you have a favorite track or a few tracks in a row that you like really enjoy or are proud of putting together?
I mean, I guess so that's the thing, is that I don't know. I guess you could probably say that with what they had recorded already, we put everything in order as I guess it was recorded. Because I think, who was it? Risk was doing the recording and like tracking and mixing just on the spot, and he would just send it directly to me. So I think that's actually how it really was built. So there was no true. I think they were just that was just they let me
going with the flow almost.
And then they sent me everything as we were going, and just arranged it. I arranged it there. They just gave me that credit, man. So. Yeah, it really was such an organic album. There's no, it made sense, man. you know. And none of us are squares, so.
Box state, but it's not the square state. He says. Yep. Finesse. I heard him say before.
Does he say that? No, we're the pot state. I want to say we're taking over.
Let's talk. Well, we're going to talk about Colorado. We'll get back into that topic in a little bit. Talk about shooting the front and center video. We talked about, a lot of it being recorded in LA, but I think you were on that trip out to New York where a lot of stuff happened also, right?
Yeah, the trip to New York was super spur of the moment. And I remember when we went there, I didn't have a time to look up. Like I was looking through a lens, or we were like moving, going to a meeting or to an interview or something. It was like very fast. I don't even feel like I was in New York. But the second we landed there, I started shooting. I just got a new camera and a new lens. It's a 24 Sigma, and that motherfucker is like, that's the jam. So we just started going, man, and we were down. Was that like Lower Manhattan? I think is what they called it. Driving around, there's fucking nuts too, but yeah, just started shooting. You can't go wrong in New York, man. There's so much shit to shoot there. I think we shot 3 videos in a weekend, but that was where I was like really honing into. I got a couple vintage lenses I brought and was really trying to just hone in on trying to make it look like The Wire or some shit. So.
The flies in the fleet with the Pharaoh Don. No squares in my circle.
Yeah, balls gone, baby. Moose, know what the fuck it is, listen. Talk to him. Fly, kick him off the rope. Gold plated rifle with the panoramic scope. Cherry red beam, that's a very bad dream. Moose falling off, you better off drinking lean. The wave coming. I'm in the submarine with Celine and Sophia, baby, both out of breath. Revenge feels sweeter when you killing with success. You rap niggas stress. I'm looking at stocks, about to buy the whole net. Talk to him, tell him what's best. Offshore accounts, off with a mouse. If she a bad bitch, tell her nigga. They bring me in the back when I'm in the bank center.
Yeah, that front center video is really cool, man. I enjoyed watching that. And it gives, videos are really important. They really help give listeners an insight into the artist, sort of, or their vibe, or what they're trying to put out there. You can listen to the music all you want, but it's all in your own setting, in your car, in your house, stuff like that. So I really enjoy people who put together, videos where you get brought into that artist world.
What was dope too is they actually let me pick the songs that we shot. So that was dope. So those are
almost like picking the singles.
Yeah, exactly.
Really.
So those, you could say those are my favorite songs. Those are the ones that I really was like, I think we showcased these ones. So that was where they kind of let me have my freedom. Eagle Feathers was another video off the album, right? Yeah, Eagle Feathers we shot in Jersey and just across the way in like a super dope Airbnb. But who edited that? This fucking dude, this cat Jordan edited
from
that?
out here.
He's from out here.
I think I met him a week or so ago. Yeah. He was doing some work with Yeah,
Jordan edited that shit. So shout out Jordan.
Shout out Jordan, another great guy making great videos.
Yeah, so people are tapping in, man. It was, again, everything has been super organic. That's hard to say, I feel like, anymore. But it's all these cats are all ready to go. They're honed in on what they need to do, so it's been pretty easy.
Hey, if you got any extra acapellas from those sessions, send them over, man. We'll make some mashups, do some fun stuff with that.
Yeah. We have
send
a couple
them
songs.
over.
I got you, bro.
So speaking about working with Mussolini and stuff like that, I believe you got a shout out on the new album, right?
Oh yeah, hell
Paid in Full.
I do, yeah, man. On the mountain, yes. On the mountain.
Come on, man.
On the mountain, man. That's a whole fucking story in itself. But pretty much, Moose and O almost died out here in Colorado on a mountainside.
Oh my.
Yeah, but I'll leave when you interview them. I'll leave that
story.
We're
gonna get O back in here soon, and I think Moose will be coming out.
You can let
in the
them
next few
tell
months.
that story.
Yeah, we're gonna have to ask them about that.
But don't let them forget the details to the part where it was their fault too. So. All
right. I'm gonna pull this clip up for them.
Yeah, that's a story. That's a story for them to tell, man.
Okay, all right.
Because the mountain was a whole ordeal. But yeah, shout out the mountain.
Oh, so it's not there's a whole thing behind it. It ain't just
man.
a clever rhyme. No pun intended.
Yeah, man. But no, I mean, too, we shot blood diamonds out here on the mountain. I mean, it was just the whole thing. Everything was on a mountainside. Well, while they were out here, bro, I feel like we were past the summit on a mountainside, homie. It was a good time.
That's dope. So we talked about, working with Moose and Finesse. Let's talk about your cousin, the Manic. I was going to ask you what's your relationship with him, how you met, but you already explained it. You guys are cousins, didn't know that you guys kind of made music for a while, and then you linked up. Before we get into this So Much for Killing project, you guys are opening up for Rakim at the Roxy in March. The show was rescheduled, and let me tell you, I was so disappointed
that shit sucked.
when I heard about that. But, we're here now, and we're going to promote it a little bit. So talk about it, how that came together.
Yeah, Manic knows a lot of people, man. Him and Steve just know they have worked in a lot of places here, like a couple restaurants where a lot of people come through, Nuggets players and football players and all kinds of shit. So I just feel like they have a lot of connections as far as who they can talk to get in touch with certain people. And, that's like...
I mean, did he already have a show scheduled out here? Or did you guys sort of recruit him to do a show out here?
Oh, yeah. So yeah, it was my bad. It was the Rakim show.
The God. Come on.
I'm all high right now.
Shout out Huey P also. We got the God Rakim
Huey
t-shirt
P,
on.
bad.
And, he's got all the covers, too. No, you good, bro. You good.
I'm all
the
stoned.
Colorado weed, right?
I'm all fucking high. So anyway, so Rakim happened because my cousin and Steve know a lot of people. And shout out Big Steve. They just really have the connections. So we got a slot, and we sold all of our tickets. So it really it was dope. Like, people are really fucking with. I really didn't think people were fucking with us like that out here, that hard. So that was pretty cool to see. But then it got rescheduled. He had something come up. So I don't know if he got sick. I don't want to say he got sick, but something had come up. So they rescheduled it till next month, and I hope that it doesn't get rescheduled again. But
no. Chill.
That's
Let me put that in the universe.
Yeah. Yo.
There you go. Knock on it.
But that was dope, man. We were really excited about that one. So, and our set is crazy. We actually went crazy on our set.
I'm looking forward to hearing that. I'm sure I'll be hearing a lot of So Much for Killing, right? You guys have a lot of tracks that you made before that, or projects that you released before that?
Yeah, so we did, the first album I did was The Thonic with Manic, and I think we did that a little bit after Gold Rush, but that was like a good 4 or 5 years in the making, truly trying to get the rappers that we wanted to feature on there and getting the beats that just sounded right, especially after working with Will. That kind of really put into perspective how people at that caliber work, So then we started working on So Much Killing, I think about 1.5 years after that. That album's crazy, though. I think it's so slept on. It's super, super dope.
Very much so.
I have a verse on that, too.
DIA.
I went super hard on that one.
Hell yeah.
That's, I think, super...
Let's talk about
Manic
it, man.
slept on.
It's a darker sound.
Oh, yeah.
Very clean production and sonics. I would say it's like horrorcore-ish, if not
for sure.
Straight up horrorcore, right?
Manic's... His speed is for sure, again, Gore-Tex and just that death rap sound, And I think it's going to make its rounds, It's going to come back at some point.
Yeah.
It's a very niche sound.
That was my first experience listening to him and you guys together. Really dope. We talked about your relationship. He's got a really dope style. What was the process of putting together this album? Was it just kind of one track at a time? You said it took about a year and a half.
Same thing. Yeah, same thing. We really just this obviously was a lot faster because I think we both are now really honed in on our craft. So it was much. I think it was a much faster turnover. But same thing. We just really put the beats that we liked together and really listened to who we thought would sound good on those beats. Like the first album on Thonic, we've got Solely Nomad on one of those tracks, and I mean, like, that track too is slept on, but that's like it's this one of the probably best songs we've ever produced and written. So, yeah, we just fuck with who we fuck with, and
Yeah, really well placed features
just kind of works out.
throughout the project, and really on all the projects. Do you remember what the first song that kicked off this project was?
I think it was DIA. We had a couple songs that we had recorded together and just hadn't really dropped anything yet. So naturally, I had to put one out.
The video for Glad It's Night.
Yeah, then we shot the video. That video took a minute too. There's lots of footage in that video that got lost.
A couple director's cuts, in the stash.
Yeah, some shit that didn't get shown, but that video's definitely probably we really tried to do something different on that one too. So
yeah, it's like very theatrical. Even the posters for it, like you had a few different ones to promote it. Like
we went to a studio and really just blasted in with light and with red lights and just really like tried to do this, super cinematic, like personal video.
You did it, man.
Yeah,
it's good. It's good work.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We went hard on that for sure.
If I rapped like him, maybe you'd like me, but that's highly unlikely. Find me putting spikes in your ivy while he lies quietly. I don't start riots, I think I'll start a fire. Feeling uninspired, stone in the temple, high as a pilot. The creep in the dark, I stay with the night like Gladys. Manic, the baddest nigga on planet Earth. This is dirt, reap what you sow. I grow the curse the day of your birth. Live from the hearse, your life's worth for what it's worth. Your purse, your wallet, whatever you call it. I want all of it, refusal is futile with short fuse. Cruise, I ain't tolerant, hollering, screaming gives me the feeling inside of being alive. That's a lie, I think all my feeling has died. If I can only use this power for good, I would never, ever. If I can only use this power for good,
so I was gonna say talk about the process of and ideas of shooting that. How did kind of the concept for maybe the whole, I guess just based off the sound and stuff, but how did like the red light, this theme? Like, how did that come together?
I think both of our favorite colors red. That's how that generally works. I think a lot of my shit is themed red just because I love that. That's just a color I like.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we just started. He's super good at that too, as far as ideas and concepts, and doing like superimposing things at certain times. Like I actually do really hope people watch the videos and try to understand like why we did certain parts, of him facing a specific way or whatever the case is,
mm-hmm.
and then analyzing it that way. But yeah, I mean, he just throws out ideas out there. Like I think obviously what is his name? The guy that did Belly. What's that director's name?
Hype. Was it Hype?
Hype. Yeah, Hype.
Hype Williams.
Good one. So yeah, Hype Williams is definitely where we took the idea of like doing the white, backdrop and just a solid color, and then doing the owl's eye because he has the connection with the owls and the wise, being wise and all that kind of shit. So I mean, it really was just like boom, boom, boom. Like we know what we were doing as far as making it, as themed and dark to the song. Yeah,
awesome. Cool work and good insight too. So you talked a little bit about working with Tony T, the Sheesh Project. You guys make a good combination. Also put a video out a month or so ago, right? Long Live
Quato.
Yeah. That's an intense one.
That's from some movie. What the fuck movie is that from? I think it's from what's the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie?
I looked it up. I forgot it. I don't have it written down.
So that's Long Live Quato's from a movie that Tone really fucks with, and yeah, that same thing, man. It's just spur of the moment kind of shit. He sent me a beat. I was like, we need to put something out. I know Tone is he's a hermit, man. He'll like dropped some of the craziest shit and then just dipped for a little bit, which is cool, you know. But when he pops up, man, his shit's crazy. So he sent me some stuff, and I had, it was nothing, man. We wrote, the shit we wrote was crazy. So
yeah. It's wild.
yeah,
It's a fun project.
Tone. Yeah, Tone. And then we did the isolated light shots. Just, I don't know. That was the same thing, kind of spur of the moment. How can we make this shit look different? You know, and that's like one of the first videos I shot. So it's super old. I shot that like 2 years ago.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it's old. But yeah, it was the same thing. We just tried to be as different as we could, I guess, you know. And yeah.
It's fun stuff, man. Just being creative.
Long live Quato.
Yeah, long live Quato. I didn't want to not say it right.
Fuck this shit is, yeah.
We're going to put up a picture of Quato for
Yeah.
everybody. Any other CO artists you want to shout out, people you work with, you know, that...
Yeah, again, Ryan Allen is like super, super dope. You got to tap into Manic. He's crazy. I need you guys to really like listen to those albums, man. They're stupid fire. A couple cats that O works with is like Blanco, Windsor, James. You need to tap in with.
Absolutely, Grand Combo.
Shout out Gary. He's another cat who just really helps like orchestrate things and how, you know, the albums all come together. You know, and really just like keeping people motivated. Shout out Batesman. You know, he's a super, super good dude. But yeah, I mean, fuck, dude. It's a hard question. Me, Klever Skemes, you know, you need to tap in with us.
Of course. Hey, you're the first one in the studio.
I appreciate that. But yeah, tap in with us, man. I mean, it's super niche out here. I don't want to shout out anybody because...
No, I got you. I'm just
yeah,
trying
you know,
to see,
I don't know.
you know...
I'm not, like, super familiar with, like, who's going to say some dumb shit next week and be affiliated with them, you know?
Okay,
or like,
yeah.
Who's gonna
this interview's going to make the rounds. Everybody's going to watch this, so we don't want to,
yeah,
you know,
like,
put anybody on.
You know, no, yeah, but I don't know, like... Yeah, Ryan Allen is Miles D is another cat who's super, super dope. AP, he's dope. I fuck with him. Trev Rich is another cat who's super dope out here. If you need to like record at a studio, if you're a rapper or a producer and you're like trying to get your shit going, Side 3 is who I fuck with as far as like studios to go.
Is that in Denver?
That's in Denver, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man, I just tap in with us.
Tap in. We're gonna have links below so you guys can get directly
TMac.
to the
He's
music.
tapping in, man. This is the first.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. We gotta bring this to more people, and I think with the internet and the way things are going now, this underground independent scene is able to get a lot further, and it gets a lot wider reach than it did just a few years ago. I feel like. Yeah,
man. It's like obviously West Side Gun and them are. We really didn't talk about how I fucked with Conway, but that's
it's next.
Yeah, that's kind of like where I think everybody really was like, oh, this shit is tight for whatever reason, you know. I don't know. It is the aesthetic, obviously, you know. I fuck with their aesthetic, you know, too. But I think that was for sure what people really like gravitated toward, because the sound has, you know, obviously been there. I mean, no one's ever really sounded like. As far as their voices and shit, no one sounded like any of them. But as far as subject matter, it's always been there.
In general, sort of grimy sound, yeah.
But
absolutely.
They really like
always bubbling a little bit.
Like they really made it like you said, sonically clean. You know, it's just very like crisp. Like you can hear the grit. It's weird, right? Like,
it's a weird like dichotomy.
Yeah,
it's like opposites.
Derringer really. Just I don't know, man. I know he's a wizard on that MPC.
You spoke
J.R.
about
Swift too.
Primo earlier. That's something I think his new production. It's Primo, but it sounds so much cleaner than that Gangstar '90s and Biggie stuff that he did.
You can tell it's mixed. They put it into a fucking mixer board, or
they got hip hop people that actually mix it, right?
Hey, I don't know if they put it into Pro Tools, but they definitely like mix their shit now because they understand too. Like people think sharp is better, right? Things sounding sharp, things looking sharp is better, but generally it's like there needs to be some sort of haze or like a grit on top of it. and just for somehow they're able to do that. I know it has something to do with the MPC and the equipment they use, but there's just like a formula they have that nobody obviously has had yet. So
speaking of
that's where
equipment,
it started.
what kind of equipment do you use to produce and sample and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I have a Renaissance MPC that I make like the drums. I'll do most of the drums on that, and then Fruity Loops.
Nice.
It's all programmed through that.
So, nice.
So special.
Yeah. Hey, whatever works, right?
yeah,
whatever
it
works.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about, Griselda, keeping that, carrying the torch of that underground, gritty, grimy scene. Talk about the connection with Conway. How did that first come about? Because he's featured on So Much for Killing and also one of your singles or like just releases?
Yep. So that's actually a funny story too. So way like, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 years now. Conway was working with Big Ghost. They dropped that album. God, what the fuck is it called? I forget what it's called. But that's where I like at first heard Conway, and I was like, oh shit, this is like who we should fuck with too. And he was doing features for like, I don't know, some crazy, not what he's
Stupid
doing.
Cheap.
Yeah,
the
not
price,
what he's doing
yesterday's
now.
price, not today's price.
Yeah, and it was like right before they it had caught on and blew the fuck up in the underground scene, and I had just in time we got 2 or 3 verses from him in that day, and he sent them back quick too. It was like the real thing. But I remember hitting him up and being like, is this the real Conway? Like for me, he was already like this famous ass dude, right? And I remember this cat sending me a fucking screenshot of his face being like, yeah, motherfucker, send the money. And I was like, oh shit.
Yo.
This is actually Conway dope. So then, yeah, I mean, it wasn't nothing crazy cheap, but it's like nothing what you would pay, You can't get a verse from them now, but that shit was funny, bro. I remember we were dying laughing because that shit was just like, oh, it's Conway.
So did you was it just whatever song you sent he got on, or he was like, I'm not really feeling that.
No, actually he
else.
picked every beat I sent. Like it was, I think that though was so important to me. I didn't send him trash. I was like,
you
these are beats
with the
I would
bangers.
rap on. Yeah, I was like, this is the absolute best thing I think I can make. And he fucked with every single one. So that was like, oh hell yes.
Really good verses.
Dude,
good stuff.
Yeah, I mean he killed it. So and then we got Term, because Term is another cat that
what's the name of that track?
Really fucked with us.
Grimiest. Look, niggas be talking like bitches till I run up on him, hit him with the hawk, he needs stitches. Cut you up bad. Talking tough shit, just trying to seem vicious. Meanwhile, the girl of your dreams is naked doing my dishes. I got a homie love popping this biscuit. Have him run down on you and turn your shit liquid. I rock the Ronnie Fed Kid shit. Rollie on the wrist shit. $1,000 kick shit. Cocaine in the Pyrex. Tell them rap niggas that I'm next. It's my turn, nigga. Clap niggas like it's nothing. Boom, boom, boom. And one with the shoulder strap, get the bussin'. Made money out my pot.
It's called Everything You Not.
Everything
You Not.
Everything You Not. That's right.
Yeah, so yeah, we did we called it Everything You Not because obviously he says that in the song, and that just kind of made sense, so I just named it that. And that's how that happened. But yeah, man, that was crazy to me. I actually still can't believe we have. And to me, that shit is like my magnum opus, man. I love that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, when I was listening to the Mannix album and I heard Conway, I was just, whoa, wait, what?
Yeah.
How are they connected? Where did it come from? Like, that was very interesting to me. And,
yeah.
Getting a feature like
lucky.
that elevates the status of everything. Like,
it was luck. It was definitely luck of the draw.
Timing, shit's got to work out. The beat's got to be good, though, because I'm sure he turned people away, too.
I honestly don't know how it happened. I really just was working hard, and I think the beats made sense. And yeah, just
That's awesome, bro.
it was like luck, man.
That's cool.
Even some of the beats I think I make are luck. You know, I've been very fortunate as far as who's fucked with me. So
Shout out to my friend Berg up on Cape Cod. He put me onto Griselda, and I showed him O Finesse, and he digs Yikes. He really likes that project.
I appreciate that. Hell yeah.
Shout out Berg. Let's talk about another upstate connection. You mentioned Ito earlier. Is that just like through Willie? How did that kind of come about?
All the East Coast connections I have I would say for the most part are due to Willie. He's kind of been, he's been the one who's helped me and really floated me all the work, you know, and really pushed me to to take it serious. So yeah, that's how that worked, man. Shout out Willie.
Dope, man. That's really dope. And I appreciate the gift he brought me. Was it Gold Rush vinyl?
Yes, sir. I brought Gold Rush 2.
Gold Rush 2.
It was one of the few I had left. So
fucking awesome. Blessed.
Hell yeah, bro. Appreciate
that. And a Mussolini one, you know. I got records here. Anybody wants to give me records, send them my way. I'll give you my address.
Got to bring gifts, man.
Yeah, bring gifts. So we talked a little bit about the state of kind of hip hop and your perspective on it, you know, the underground scene and stuff like that. Something I notice is that a lot of these albums that are coming out now from all different artists, but especially the underground scene, are shorter projects. They're under an hour, even like a half hour. Not saying that that's good or that's bad. Why do you think that is? I feel like a lot of these 90s projects, I don't know, a standard hour is almost what I think an album is or should be. I don't know why, but maybe that's just what I'm used to, what everything used to be.
What's weird is that I guess we're like old heads now, right?
I'm an old head because I need an hour-long album, right?
Yeah, it's weird because, you know, the attention span is, I mean, your demographic is, at least as far as I'm concerned, I'm trying to actually tap into the younger demographic, the ones that are you know, of the above the 1,000 people you need to really be supporting your art and shit. So that's who you have to tap into, and their attention span is short. So if you can catch it for 3 to fucking 10 minutes, it's like, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
That says something. And I think it's a test. It's like, do they fuck with this? You know, I know we have a couple, I think we have a couple albums that are about 30 minutes. I think Thonic is 30 minutes. Gold Rush in its entirety, I think, is like about 35 minutes, 40 minutes. Perfect
for my drives to work. That's what I've been doing the last few weeks.
Unfortunately, you have to like go to the next album or I guess EP to do it. But yeah, it's the attention span. And I mean, we really put our heart and soul into those, or at least I did, and I know Manic did. And I know Willie, it's just nothing for him, you know? So we really put everything into those, and it just had to be done right. So, yeah.
I feel like I asked this next question to all the artists, and they give me a similar answer. So, I just like throwing it out there. Do you have any dream collaborations? A lot of people that I ask, they're like, I fuck with my in-house producers, and they're all amazing producers, and people that they have on their beats are amazing. But do you have any like dream collaborations that you'd really love to? You want to work with Alchemist? You want to work with RZA? Like something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, working with Primo would be like...
Primo, okay.
If I could work with Primo, it would be like, oh, shit.
Do a video for Primo?
Yeah,
and then be like,
I was just going to say something like that,
too.
So, like, yeah, of course. And then any type of cinema shit I can really tap into as well. I'm gonna try to go for that. But yeah, no, Alchemist would be dope, super dope. I've worked with my favorites, I've worked with Rock, I've worked with Ito, I've worked with V-Don, I've worked with Willie, I've worked truly with all the people that I like avidly listen to and like
you say with. You got Conway, like you're set, magnum opus moments.
Conway,
almost, right?
Term,
like,
same with Term. I fuck with Term.
Yeah.
And then so I've already pretty much worked with like my favorite. There's the few greats, but yeah.
That's dope, man. So just continuing to work with these guys and anybody else you feel like is putting out that kind of music.
I would love to do like the contemporary. I don't know what would you even call that? Not even contemporary, just like whatever niche shit is happening. I actually really love like R&B shit, you know. I love old soul music and, you know, the typical shit that I feel like most producers like fuck with. You know, Bill Evans is like truly like that's some shit I like really listen to like avidly.
Yeah, same here.
Like old jazz and shit. Like, you know, Miles Davis. I have like, you know, tons of Miles Davis that I'll just play that shit and just really catch like whatever, you know, vibe they have, because that they have it. Like that's like really where the like feeling of that shit comes from. So that's like the general shit I fuck with.
Nice, man. Nice. Anything else you want to talk about as far as music goes? You know, we talked about a lot of the artists you work with, but anything else you want to shed some light on that we didn't talk about? Particular project or verse you did, or, you know, anything?
No, I mean, we've got, I'm working on several, you know, videos really is my thing now. I'm really trying to get as far into this movie shit as I possibly can, because that's kind of where my focus has been. And, you know, my YouTube now is really just movies, like old movies, and like lighting techniques, and trying to make this shit look as dope as we can. With it's hard to do different shit now, you know, so you have to just put your 10,000 hours in to just understand like how you're even gonna do something new. I think
getting
anymore.
Like concepts and
exactly,
like that, and then kind of putting your own unique.
Like I'm not going to school for any of this, you know. So it's gonna take much longer. But yeah, that's what's coming up. Is just videos.
Nice.
I'm gonna drop and do as much work as I can in that department.
That's a great transition, because now we're going to talk about some of your videos and film work. RZA, you know, I'm a huge Wu-Tang Clan guy. I got a Wu tat down here. You know, he's the mind behind the Wu-Tang Clan. Also worked very closely with Quentin Tarantino, has multiple films and TV shows and things like that going on. Is that somebody that you were influenced by? Obviously, he makes very gritty, grimy beats as well. We didn't really talk about him too much, but, you know, him being a music guy and a film guy, it just seems very fitting to talk about with you.
No, I mean, honestly, no. I would say in ways that I probably don't know. You know, like not that I can see that I can make like that connection right away, but
sure.
But absolutely, like you know, Quentin Tarantino is like one of the fucking goats. So. You know, obviously I know he did the score for Kill Bill and, you know, that kind of shit. So that definitely has some influence on me. Yeah, I mean, Wu-Tang is influenced in everything, you know. That's like, now you could probably you're going to start hearing West Side Gun and all them and everything now that pretty much from here on out for a while. So.
Sure. Do you remember the first music video you remember being like wowed by?
That dude Cole Bennett, actually, the shit he does for all the little rappers is like, that's, I mean, he does movies, you know, for music videos, and obviously the Hype Williams shit like that. But no, I feel like I've really been really into like the A24 directors, like Ash, what the fuck is his name, Astor or something. I forget, but the A24 directors that they have are like super dope. That's who I like try to see like what they're doing at all times to catch some sort of influence.
It was interesting you mentioned Hype Williams, because I have here Shorty is a 10. That was one of the first videos I remember watching. You talked about the white background and like
exactly.
shit like that,
yes,
and having colors pop. I literally have that written down. That was one of the first videos that I was like, wow, it's not just like somebody singing a song like somewhere. It's like, I don't know.
Or there's like an Exhibit song too. I don't know if Hype did it, but I gotta figure out who that. It's like Julie. I think his name is Julius something. I forget. But the people who were doing the types of videos back around then, like
the 2000s. Yes, that's when I was first like in it. Man, like, and you know, MTV still was playing all some music videos. Shit,
the Buster and fucking Janet Jackson video. Like I remember we would stay up for those videos. You know, like try to record them and shit. So definitely Hype, man. He was the man at the time.
Talk about the importance of like film, and like, do you consider yourself sort of documenting the culture and you know, why is it important
I mean,
to have music videos and
that's actually
and things
dope.
like
You
that?
kind of put it that way, but no, I guess it's just fun, man. This is like really fun for me right now. And I would say like not even my attention span, but as far as like what I like my creative outlet needs to be I gotta like there has to be some change, I guess. So right now it's just super fun. People fuck with it. I think there's enough. You can't like do the same thing, you know. It's hard to do the same thing over and over if you're really like
Creative and want to like keep doing stuff,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. Like you have something to say, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
So,
What do you think the importance of music in film is? Because, you know, we talked about RZA scoring things. Is that something that you're looking to do, or are you just looking to score your own films? Like, how deep do you want to get into the different stuff?
Oh yeah, like scoring a film would be super
TV
dope.
shows, like you know, little 10-second beats.
That would be dope.
Like that.
I mean, definitely all the sound design you hear in the videos, anything like the birds chirping or the car driving by, all that is actually sound design. So we
sound design. I guess that'd be the way to say it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So me and Manic actually will like sit there and really listen to like, you know, I actually took a couple mixing courses for college and I knew how to mix before I really started making beats for Willie and shit. So that's how like I have the ear for like where shit should be panned, you know, and how it should sound. So we really just like find sounds, and we've sound designed all of our videos. So I would love to do a fucking feature film, but yeah.
Get at my board, people. Get at him. We got the links below. All right.
We'll see when that happens.
Can you talk a little bit more about some influences in film? You talked a little bit about like Quentin Tarantino. I'm more of a music guy. Like my girlfriend loves movies, certain directors. I don't know shit about directors, really.
Sure.
Break down some of like your favorite directors and maybe some movies that somebody who doesn't know as much and wants to know more should look at.
Yeah. Watch. So I now actually remember the name. Ari Aster, that's his name. I think he's the cat who did Hereditary. But like Roger Deakins is a cinematographer. Fuck, you know what? Let me just look these names up really quick. So yeah, like Roger Deakins is he's like the DJ premier, I would say, of like cinematographers. So really that's who I'm like, and Quentin Tarantino. But those are the few I like avidly try to mimic, I guess, or try to. You know, because there is a science to all this movie shit, you know, like how they point the camera and the lighting and all that. So I'm just like scratching the surface of this shit. Mm-hmm. But that's like who I'm really trying to emulate. And as far as like, the movies, I've always loved movies, but I don't think until as of like really recently I've looked at who the cinematographers are, who the directors are. Obviously the best directors are gonna be like Spielberg. Like all his movies are amazing. Fucking Scorsese, like Goodfellas is amazing. Those are like a few of the ones that I like. Like Jurassic Park, you really watch when you start like learning movie shit, and it's just unreal to really watch.
Like understand kind of what's happening more,
and like how they're actually doing this shit. That when you're like our age, when we see a movie like Dune, have you seen Dune?
No.
The new Dune, that shit you got to see, man. It's as far as cinematically, it's amazing. It's just crazy how they do this shit. So I think that it's just fun now. It's interesting to me. Mm-hmm. I know the music shit now. Like I know how they do all that shit. So I feel like it's only now. It's like
still learning and growing.
Yeah, it's like the new. It's like a way I have to like kind of right. Like,
challenge yourself almost too, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Sweet, man.
I think there's less to it too. Like you don't have to know so much like music. You have to know like music theory. I feel like to be really, to really like know.
Put together like a well-sounding track.
Yeah, to like put out your creativeness in like a way that makes sense to people that they can like actually relate, right?
That's where I kind of ran into a roadblock, I think, a little bit, like
sure.
in producing. Like it's just I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that's why that's why again things that people put out are short. Everyone puts out an EP because you don't know what's gonna catch. You only need one or two songs to catch, but really, what's gonna catch? Like now you hear Nems on fucking TikTok, but it's not his songs, right?
Yeah.
It's him yelling and shit. Like it's not even his songs.
That's hilarious.
So, yeah, it's hard. It's hard to tap into that shit.
Interesting. So we were just talking about movies a little bit. Something that you put on your Instagram that was part of the movie Prisoners. That was a movie that I was like drawn into. I don't get too into movies. Ask my girl. I fall asleep every single one.
Did you watch it recently?
I watched it probably a year and a half ago, maybe. Yeah. It was when I was living in Cape Cod still, and I was just like, nuts. I just kept sitting up and like getting close to the television.
It's like uneasy,
like it was
man.
Uneasy.
Yeah. So that's that dude Roger Deakins, man. He does.
That's right. Oh, okay.
So he did that. He did Sicario. That's another
Sicario.
one.
I've seen that one actually.
That's another one where I was like, the whole time you're like, intense. It's just unsettling, right?
Unsettling. That's the perfect way to describe it. Really,
it's just super good. And then, God, what else he's done? He did, I think, Interstellar. I think he did that one.
Okay.
And that movie's like, have you seen Interstellar?
I don't think I've seen it. No.
I like space shit, so that's definitely like sci-fi shit.
Okay.
He did Blade Runner 2049, so that. I definitely have been tapping into Deakins, man. He's the man.
Nice. Okay, so that's interesting that was the guy that you mentioned. But yeah, like I said, I don't get too into movies, but that movie was fucking crazy.
Yeah, dude, Prisoners is wild, man. Yeah, it's not, and it's weird. It's funny because it's not. Those aren't movies I typically like. Like I'm not a huge, like I don't like the ID Discovery shows where it's like murder shows and shit, right?
Yeah,
like
First
a lot of my cousins like that shit, and I just it's depressing to me.
Yeah, I need more positive shit on TV and in my headphones.
Like shit's depressing as fuck, so I don't like watch that shit. So, it was like that movie though. It's just shot really well. I think it's like because the mood it puts you in, it's like you can't look away almost.
Yeah,
right.
It's crazy.
And he just does that shit. He just puts this he puts so much feeling into a shot. It's pretty wild. So
very wild. I'm gonna have to watch that again. Just I've only seen it the one time, but
watch
after
all
our conversation
shit,
and you mentioning him,
dude,
we're going back. We're digging
all his
people.
Shit is insane. Yeah,
awesome. So the most recent video you did was with Ryan Allen, my favorite, right?
Yeah.
That was something I feel like you made a post. Like you were very proud of that. There's a lot of work that went into that. Talk about sort of the process behind putting together that video and start to finish putting it out.
Yeah. So with Ryan, he's like me in that he's so particular and super. He's a perfectionist, and he just has a very specific way of how he does shit. So we did a Stash Spot was the first video we did, and we put a lot of work into that. We shot 3 weekends. That was a lot of hours.
That's an interesting video. That's a cool one.
Yeah, and we had Miles D is in that as his character Robert Lebowitz, and we just put like a lot of love and like care into shooting this shit and trying to
a lot of pre-planning before. It's not just like let's just go here and rap, like go there and rap. It's
to really put something. Yeah, exactly. Trying to put something where it's captivating. Because you watch any video now, really, like again, there has to be some sort of connection that you make now. Like people have to be like, oh, it's depressing. I'm fucking depressed, or it's funny. It's like there's something there. So there has to be some sort of entertaining aspect. But not on my favorite, man, I really wanted to go as like cinematic as we could with what I have. Mm-hmm. Like I don't have a super great setup. I'm shooting on like an A7 III, and I shoot with like a old World War II cinema lens, and like a couple Minolta vintage lenses. So there's nothing like super special about how I'm shooting shit, but we really try to like all the lighting techniques we really tried on this one to be as like cinematic as we could and show that you can do it with a cheap setup, right? Mm-hmm.
can't lie, I've been lost without you. And I can't tell what you want me to do. So I've just been waiting and waiting. Yeah, my patience runs deep, but it's weighing on me. Lately it's been hard to make time. No calls, no FaceTimes. Wanna grab you by your waistline and sway. These ain't moving faster. Am I still yours when they ask you? There's not too much I can say, but you've been my favorite. Wish I could say.
Are there all different versions of it? I don't know, maybe you were testing it on YouTube, but I just happened to be on while you were uploading, and I was watching them, and then they were gone.
What's funny
I'm
is, like,
trying to do research. I'm like, what's
funny
happening
is, like,
here?
I forget I have subscribers, so what I'll do is I'll load a video to YouTube, and I'll watch it on there to see, like,
Which you
how
can set
it
to
looks.
private, by the way.
Right, but, like, in order to watch it in 4K, I feel like you have to put it live. So I want to watch it in 4K. I think
That's something I don't know,
might be
and
fucking
don't worry about too
stupid.
much.
Yeah, I might be stupid as fuck. So don't quote me on this, but I feel like you have to have it public to watch it in 4K.
That is funny.
So I'll post them and I'll watch them in 4K, and then I'll take them down because I saw you actually comment on one of them.
Yeah, I was like, yo, anybody
But did
that
you
like, I
notice
listened to
they
was-
were like weird names?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm like,
yeah, they're just abbreviations like grade 2, log 3, blah blah blah, whatever. So I'm like trying to.
I'm looking on his Instagram. He's like, the video comes out in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
like,
like, what the
what's going on here?
Nah, I need to figure that out. But I really just wanted to watch them on like YouTube
That's funny.
to see if I have the
You
codec
gotta create a burner
right.
account. And,
Yeah,
and
I do. You're right, though. I do, because that was
telling you,
definitely
man.
not. That wasn't meant to be seen.
But that's interesting. So you had a different versions of that. How long to edit and how many like different ideas was
A
there
long
for?
time. I feel like I'm like the worst person when it comes to just putting something out. Like the first thing I make, I should just put out the first thing that I make, because I'll make
Then on to the next, right?
Yeah, because I'll make like 20 versions of it, as you saw, and just watch it over and over, and then it finally turns out to be the first one. So it's like
Doing too much,
Yeah, bro.
Schemes. Doing too much.
I gotta do too much now. I feel like though to get it out of the way, right? So we'll see, man. But I gotta figure that out. I gotta see anyone who wants to let me know how to watch a 4K video on YouTube without doing a burner account.
Let us know in the comments.
Or yeah, or something.
Let's talk about one more video, one that I really enjoy. Heavyweights, man. Shot at Garden of the Gods, one of my favorite places that I've been in Colorado.
Yeah, that was super fun.
Talk about putting that video together.
Yeah, so what is that? Last Shabazz
Yep.
is in that one. Shabazz Palaces.
Legend.
Shout out. That was fun, man. He's super cool. I think that they really fuck with our sound, They know we know what we're doing. I think everybody looks us up and is like, okay, what the fuck are they doing? Because you don't hear it a lot out in Colorado, this sound. So that was dope. Garden of the Gods is super close to where Bates lives, Batesman, and yeah, just like we flew him out and just worked. Shot,
man.
yeah. We shot a drone.
I was gonna say
drone shots
yeah,
out
some
there.
drones in
And
there.
almost got kicked out of the park and shit. Cause
Really?
yeah, it's a no-fly zone, but yeah, go watch that video because
but
those shots. There's like
There was a
bird
fly.
shots.
He fucking made it a fly zone, yo. That's a
Yeah,
cool
it's-
video.
yeah,
the opening
definitely.
shot after like the beginning is
Yeah.
with the drone. You
Yeah,
see,
yeah, we had about 15
the
minutes.
beauty of the fucking landscape is crazy.
Yeah, it's a super. Yeah, go watch that vid because it took almost some charges to get that footage. So
How many versions of that video did you
actually,
edit?
it took a long time to edit only because I just didn't feel. I felt like I couldn't make the footage look as good, I guess, as it looks. So as I learned how to grade and color grade and clean up noise on the footage and do all the shit I've been doing and working on DaVinci Resolve, which is a like coloring program, an editing program that like kind of I went back and was like, oh shit, I can make this I mean, like that probably looks the most, I would say, cinematic as far as the opening shots and how we like blocked the scenes and framed everything. So
really dope video. I'm gonna link that below. I'm gonna put a clip of it in the interview because
I love that video.
I think I actually put a clip of it in my last interview with O Finesse. We talked about heavyweights.
Hell yeah!
I had to show it, so shout out.
Yeah, it's a dope video, man. I love that one too.
Really dope.
We paid rent off a crack valve. Yeah, fiends are rotten two smiles. They need that. Young niggas that'll walk you down. And pop a few rounds. My flow so ferocious. Minute. Nigga, I'm just so devoted. I'm running. Surrounded by cobras and vultures. Watch them. Robbers and smokers. Watch. Reagan era left us hopeless. I'm from a city block, gangbangers, crooked cops. Keep pisses by the flock. Pushing weight like the Rock. Heavyweight.
So let's talk about Colorado a little bit. I've been here for a little bit over 2 months now. I'm loving it so far. It's snowed, I think they said on the news, for about 7 weeks in a row. Make it 8 or 9 with the projected forecast. But for some reason, I'm not minding it as much. It's different than the snow on the East Coast.
Yeah, man.
It's funny. It's not as heavy, but I mean, how do you deal with the snow in the winters in Colorado?
Excuse me. How do I deal with them, man? Well, I grew up here, so I guess I never had a choice as a kid, but I hate it. I hate it.
Not about it.
I'm not a big. I like the mountains, but not the snowy mountains. I used to snowboard and skateboard and all that shit, but I'm not like a huge snowy mountain person. Mm-hmm. So I would love to actually move somewhere that has good weather at least 80% of the time. I have some family in Texas but I'm not like a huge fan of how far and how like where they live is in regards to like the city. I guess they live like outside of Dallas, but it's
okay.
So I don't know if I would move there, but I definitely want to get somewhere south that's like warmer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not
a little warmer.
I don't like. And truly now Colorado's like this is my home, but it's a lot of, there's just so much new shit going on. I feel like it's hard to establish anything here.
Let's talk about that a little bit. So you were born and raised in Colorado?
Yeah.
Born and raised here. How have things sort of changed in your mind over the past few years? Obviously, weed legalization had a lot to do with people coming out here and stuff like that. But from your perspective, how have things changed?
Yeah, dude. I think the weed is probably, I don't know, not anymore, but it was the number one thing why people were moving here, right, or making any sort of trip out here, was the legalization of weed. But
and then they saw the mountains.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or hiking. Let's go hiking. But there are some dope hiking trails, man. Shout out the hiking trails, but quit littering on them, you fucking assholes. Like they close them down all the time, because people come out here and litter all over them, man.
What are some of your favorite hiking spots to go to? You have any around here?
I don't know if I want to give them away, man.
Okay, all right.
I do have
off the record.
Yeah,
Save for off the record. I won't tell
man,
anybody, all right?
I'm not telling these motherfuckers.
Yo, that's funny. I love that. I love that.
Nah, but
I got Majestic View Park right over here. That's just a beautiful spot to like pull up at and just go for like a little walk. I like that. There's so many though. There's so many.
What I was just gonna say is there's really a lot of short trails that you could take to just go see really good views. And we have some of the like crazy sunsets too that that's like what is that, like Lookout Mountain has some dope ones that are super easy trails, right? But it's not hard to find shit out here. But yeah, I'll have to let you know some of the like OG ones.
Yeah, the OG. We'll keep that DL.
Yeah, you like hike. You have to like hike like a good like 30 minutes to like the first little spots, right? And then yeah. But it's like a couple hour hike. So
sweet.
Yeah, a couple of them that are.
There's so many, man.
The secret trails.
So since I've been in Colorado, I've been eating a lot of fucking green chili.
Green chili.
Green chilies on everything.
Oh shit, man.
And Mexican food.
What's funny too is like our green chili, I feel like is so different than anywhere else that you go.
I never even necessarily knew that like was a thing. It's not on the East Coast where I was. There was never a addition.
Green chili.
Add green chili to whatever it is.
Right.
But
you guys had tacos
here.
And shit though. You know, like right, like taco trucks and shit. Like
a little bit, but I mean, it's
great.
every direction you look, there's a Mexican food spot out here. So that's a lot. There's a lot more of that.
There's a lot of Mexicans here. I think that has definitely a lot to do with it. Like the Mexican population here is there's a lot. But yeah, dude, I think our green chili is mad different than like New Mexico or Arizona green chili. Like it's on this side of the U.S. Mm-hmm. But it's good, man. You fuck with it?
I like it, man. I have 2 kinds in my fridge right now.
You got
I have green chili. There's like an orange green chili that I have.
That's awesome, bro. You got
There's a whole section in the supermarket of green chili.
Hell yeah, dude. That's dope. No, man.
You have a favorite that I should check out next time I need to get?
That's another DL. I'm gonna have to give you some of the spots off the record too, cause.
Okay.
No, I'm just playing. Let's see.
I got the King Chef one.
I'm just trying. I'm trying to deflect because I suck at interviews. I'm trying to think. Okay, so, let's see. Panaderia Rodriguez is really good. That's like Lakewood, Denver area.
That's a restaurant?
That's a restaurant. It's like a bakery. But they serve like burritos and tacos and like all kinds of OG Mexican food. And then El Tacos de Mexico is really good. Mexico City is super fire down off of Larimer. Larimer Street, what is that, like Lodo, I think, area is what they call that. Lodo. Because all the fucking names are changing now. Like the north side is the Highlands, and then
they're changing like the names of everything.
And then Rhino,
sound fancier.
Yeah, Rhino is like just the, I don't know what Rhino area is. 5 Points is, I think that might be what they call 5 Points now. Is the Rhino, or River North or some shit. But yeah, like that area. There's some, but yeah, I would say just go to check everything. You got to check the hole in the wall places because those are gonna be the ones that have the really really good green chili. That's like you can get a burrito for like $10, right? Mm-hmm. And I would say get chorizo too. Chorizo is like really good here.
Yeah, at the Blue Pan Pizza spot that I have, green chilies on one of the pizzas, but they had a special pizza of the month and they had chorizo, and it was all local chorizo actually. So that's dope. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
What are some other like Colorado staples that I need to get into?
Well, like you said the green chili too. So like if you go to, God, what's that steak burger place? Freddy's. You ever been to Freddy's Steak Burgers?
No.
Go there, and then you gotta ask for green chili on like their California burger. That's a thing. But no, you said it, dude. Green chili. I don't think there's anything.
Are peaches a thing? I thought I heard that.
Yeah, like we have. I mean, when they're in season, there's like lots of Palisade peaches that they sell.
Palisade peaches.
But yeah, I don't know. That's not something that I like grew up. I don't think there's a lot of in the Hispanic community. I don't think they're out there like buying a bunch of peaches. Like they do the roasted green chilies and shit like that. So, but yeah, peaches for sure. Like farmers markets are pretty big out here.
Okay.
There's like an Italian market they do in Lakewood. That's pretty dope. And then yeah, if you go to like the Taste of Colorado, is an event they'll have every year. You can go check out like all the like. I don't know if they pay for a booth or if they like choose those places to like showcase them, but that's where you can actually get some super good food. And then Cinco de Mayo here is crazy.
Ooh. Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so you gotta
party day.
Yeah, Cinco de Mayo is crazy, but you gotta be like on guard on those days. I feel like something crazy always happens here in Colorado at those events. So yeah, if you're going out anymore, you just keep your head on.
Yeah, be on a swivel, right?
Man,
things are opening up. People are coming back out. People are a little crazier than they used to be, right?
Look, I'm wearing a mask because of COVID.
It's normal though. I'm totally normal speaking to you right now.
But we're hitting a blunt. And shout out Sliv Life. This is a designer out here.
Shout out.
This dude Cameron who does these masks and shit. He has some super dope clothing. Yeah, he goes. That shit is called Sliv Life. So that's a shout out.
I might need one. It's cold out here. That looks like it'll
yeah,
work.
these are. Yeah, he kills it too. He'll like fit it. He'll like really do it for you too, like a custom mask and shit. So.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm a pizza guy. You know, you're on Flavor in Your Ear Radio. Where's the pizza spots, man? What's the good? Where's the go-tos?
I don't know. I think Patsy's. I don't know if that's like. I hope that's not a franchise, but Patsy's is super good. That's like a Chicago deep dish style.
Okay.
Man, there used to be a place called Dino's, and I hate to even bring it up, but there was a pizza place called Dino's, and it just closed. But that was like, I'm good on that. That was like the greatest pizza. That was the greatest pizza I think that was ever existed in Colorado. But yeah, Patsy's. What else? Cowboy something, or what the fuck is that called? I know it's the same place that Denver Biscuit Company. Oh, Fat Sully's. That's what it's called.
I've heard of that.
Fat Sully's is pretty decent. Anthony's, I think, is a Colorado, like franchise or Colorado company, and there's quite a few. But honestly, Anthony's is like
Coal Fire.
No. Anthony's is like
different East Coast Anthony's.
Yeah,
pizza.
there's another Anthony's out here though. But you'll like I have there's one up off of Union, like 6th Avenue and Union. You'll have to check that out. But Anthony's is decent. Mm-hmm. Oh shit. What is that? There's a venue downtown that serves pizza till like 3 a.m. Oh, what is that place called? I'll have to figure that out for you.
Yeah. We're gonna need to let the people know about that.
But that's another OG spot, so maybe it's good I don't shout them out.
Okay, all right. See, we're gonna have a bunch of off the record things, and very dope. Good shit.
I've only been there a few times, but it's
Shout out Blue Pan Pizza. Also, that's where I work. Detroit style pizza place.
Yeah.
Good shit. I never had Detroit style pizza before. I had it once there. I'm like, that's where I want to work right now. You know what I mean?
I know I've had it a couple times, but I'll definitely have to pop in there.
You live sort of in Denver, closer to the city. I know you don't want to shout any, give away too many spots, but any places or towns you like to go outside of like the city, sort of, in the mountains, if you will, or just places to kind of get away?
Yeah, I mean, Dillon is pretty dope. I go up there a few times a year. Leadville is another place I go up quite a few times a year. Steamboat's super fire. But yeah, I mean, it's just expensive, It's expensive to like go do shit up there. So.
Got it.
I mean, in a while I haven't actually been to any of those places, but yeah, those are like.
Okay.
Places I would, I guess, frequent.
Okay, I'll have to put them on the list. We'll have to check them out. I've been to Golden a few times, just going to like
Golden's
Lookout
cool.
Mountain and shit.
Golden's
like,
cool. It's
just right over here.
Yeah, like it's a cool little town. I mean, that's really. I guess that's pretty much it. Morrison, that area. Evergreen is pretty dope. Mm-hmm. You play golf?
No.
So if you play golf, Evergreen
I'll go
golf
smack
course
some balls
is
at a driving range. Just about it. Though,
Yeah, that course is like it's like a putt golf for like golfing. It's like a super short course, but it's just
I'm 30
dope.
now. Maybe I have to start.
You might, man. I did. I'm decent too. I found out I'm like okay at it. So
in your video, I'm blanking on the songs, but the video where it's just your single track. You got the house, you got the golf clubs.
Yeah, I got
and
the
shit.
club. We went golfing that day. I played like shit too. I was actually out where I have some family out in Texas in Rockwall, and there's a course nearby that we were playing that morning. And actually, my cousin is the one shooting.
Dope video. It's
shots.
Fun.
But yeah, I mean, it was like just do this, and he did it, and all the other shots I just kind of went around this crib and shot all the extra shots. So it's not my crib, but it's my family's crib.
Shout out cousin.
It's on an Airbnb
in the end, right?
Yeah, it's on an Airbnb. Shout out cousin.
Fire. So now I got some random questions. We talked about your Instagram before. I used to love like watching your rants. They would just crack me up. You don't really do them as much anymore, but you would just rant about whatever just happened.
I gotta quit doing that shit.
Yo, I enjoyed it.
Did you?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I don't know. I appreciate that. I'm glad you did. I feel like it does more bad to like, you just need to. Sometimes I just need to shut the fuck up. So, which is fine.
I enjoyed your perspective.
Yeah. So I actually I have thought about doing some sort of podcast shit, but I think it's that again is another saturated market where it's really hard to, to like break through with people wanting to like listen to you talk. I guess.
Sure.
So, but I mean, if you like you have questions, like you're ready to go.
Yeah,
so
I had a podcast, and I think the average is that people do 10 episodes and they stop. I think that's almost what I did.
Yeah. It's a lot of work too. I think.
It's a lot of work. I mean,
editing
is the one man show. It's different too. Yeah. But I'm just what I'm trying to do is just, talk to people that I'm interested in, like I said, and just find out more about the art and kind of what's going on right now. If I could interview, I have dream people that I want to interview and shit like that. Right. I love mixed martial arts. Maybe I want to interview some fighters. There's a bunch of fighters that train in Colorado.
I was going to say that's actually, I think the thing that's huge here is the martial arts.
I love MMA.
Community.
It's cool. Yeah.
It's definitely a thing here. So I would, that's something that could be dope. What did I just shot for Terrell Davis for his water company, and it was an event. It was like a workout event, and one of my buddy's friends like saw the video we did for Ryan for Stash Spot, and they were like, "Yo, can you shoot this event?" Which was super dope. So that video actually got me some work.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, with fucking TD. So that was super dope. But yeah, we shot like a workout event, and it's huge here. Like that's what there was like. I don't know how many influencers that were there, but like it's a thing here.
It was an event.
Everyone's trying to work out and be like the fit person, which is cool. I think that's super dope. That's better than being like the drug dealer fucking rapper shit sometimes. Yeah. So that makes sense. But yeah, it's big here. You got to get into that shit. Who do you fuck with? Who's your fighter? Who's like a fighter that you... Do you know anyone out here that you actually like?
None personally, but I know Corey Sandhagen trains out here. Okay. He's really good. Justin Gaethje. Okay. He's part of a camp with the coach Trevor Whitman, who's like a genius. He actually, on a recent fight card, he had three of his guys were all title fights. Rose Namajunas, a lady actually, and then Kamaru Usman and Justin Gaethje all trained with him. And I'm pretty sure it's from Denver, Colorado.
Yeah, definitely.
Muscle Farm had a big gym out here with a lot of pro fighters at it for a while. I think Dwayne Ludwig, he's a trainer out here. He's like a Muay Thai, but a head coach of like TJ Dillashaw, who's a big UFC fighter. And there's a lot going on. Like I said, we got to get the bread up, and then maybe I'm going to get into the gym again. But there are a lot of places out here to do that.
I think that's a thing that's like a lasting thing here too. I know that's been a community for a while, so as long as you stay doing like the interview shit, that'll be a spot. That'll be people that you'll get tapped into for sure.
Appreciate it. Yeah, we're trying, man. But this is the first one of the year. We're happy to have you in here. Got a few more questions for you. Yeah. We were talking about Instagram. Recently, you shared sleeping on gems, and I'm like blown away. I love that page, man. There's a lot of good shit that they're posting on there and bringing back into like my conscious.
Yeah, man. That's definitely like Instagram is a fuck, man. It sucks to say, but how much like I really am like something I want to get, but two, it's also something you want to get good at how to market on there too. So it's really doing. And I see some of the people I fuck with, like for some of the producers I fuck with, doing TikTok shit too. So it's like, it's what you gotta get into. But man, it's don't rant though. You can't rant. I think that's a number. That's a thing.
Watch it.
Yeah. I do that shit.
That's funny, man.
Yeah, people don't want to hear. People don't want to hear what your shit.
Some people. It's very niche. It's very niche.
Yeah, it's very niche, man.
They're out there.
It's niche.
So, we talked about a lot of different things that you do, music, film, all this different stuff. Do you have a daily routine, something that keeps you kind of in check, or like how do you organize your schedule a certain way, or is it just kind of wake up and do what you do?
Yeah, I mean, so I own a remodeling business with my pops, and that's like actually my life probably. That's what I wake up and do, and that's good. That's like a good trade to like have and
Solid,
to know,
man, and
I
like
think I'll
craft
have that
and skill
and
to have.
I'll have that forever for sure. But that's really like it as far as when I'm done watching movies. You know, really getting into the movies and shit that I'm watching. Fuck, my bad. But yeah, just really getting into movies and shit as soon as like my pops luckily is super dope. So as much as we can, you know, I try to like get him to watch these. Like he watches movies that I haven't had time to like actually fuck with. You know, because when I get home too, I'm like trying to fucking YouTube like what's the next
Do more work or
what's
learn
the
more.
next fucking lens I should fucking spend my money on all stupid. So there's that too. But yeah, my pops luckily really helps like. He's like, you need to watch this, or you need to check this, clip out on this shit, and so yeah, I mean, shout out my parents, man. I lucked out, dude. They really, they like, are super young at heart too. I think, they've always been pretty hip, so yeah, I owe a lot to like that influence as well.
That's dope, man. Shout out to my parents too.
Yeah,
I was working with
parents,
them at the
man.
business and shit like that. Like,
Hell yeah,
it's
it's dope, man.
Yeah.
It's cool when you have like parents that just that understand, There's just level to it.
And even if they don't understand, they like just go with it. And,
Right. I think that's
and they're
the part.
open,
Yeah. I think
right?
I think that's like the part too. It's just let it go, like how it's gonna go. Because I have a niece and nephew that are the only kids I really tolerate, and they're fucking wild, like wild ass kids, but they're good. They're like really good kids, But they just we all do crazy shit, so
Yeah.
they're just wild, man.
That's funny, man. Hip hop is in the news lately. They did a, Dr. Dre halftime Super Bowl, Snoop Dogg, Mary J, Kendrick. What are your thoughts on that? Did you check it out?
No.
You don't seem like much of a sports person, really.
No,
like,
man. I don't really fuck with sports. I mean, I like.
Interesting to see it on that big of a stage, though. I guess
It was, yeah. I mean, I think I watched after it had happened, like maybe the next day I watched like the clips that people were posting and shit. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really watch football. I guess I'm just very focused on this shit I'm trying to do right now with this
Sure.
camera. So really, that's like all my time. No, I don't watch football. So I don't want to sound like a fucking hipster or something.
Yo, it's funny. I fell off of football the past few years too, though. Like,
man,
just trying to do different stuff.
Too. Like, I love the Nuggets, man. But like, I don't know. It's just hard for me to watch sports anymore. To me, everything is rigged. It's hard to like. Everything is just so rigged, and it's like who's winning is obviously who's gonna. I don't know, man. It's just weird. Like, I don't know how people don't see that shit, right? It's just a spectacle, man.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Makes money, makes sense.
Yeah, makes a lot of money.
So I was gonna ask you if you had like a sort of a favorite Colorado sports team, but what about like venue? Have you been to like a Broncos game? I know you say you don't mess with football, but like how are the venues? I haven't been to like the basketball or watched the hockey game. Like, do you have a favorite venue?
Yeah, I mean, I love the Pepsi Center, man. That's like one of our only last like original facilities, I guess. Because like Invesco, I think it's called Invesco Field. I don't know, it might be something else now. But actually, Pepsi Center is now called the Ball Arena. So it's I don't know. It's everybody's arena. Fucking whoever's buying.
Got the most money.
Yeah, whoever's paying, which is a trip, right?
Staples Center, after how many years,
right.
is now Crypto.com.
What?
Arena.
Yeah. What? So yeah, I don't know. I think that to me right there is them fucking with us. So it's like you gotta understand the grand scheme of this shit. Yeah,
we're gonna go deep on another interview podcast, I think.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'll be Alex Jones on that shit.
Oh shit.
I know, there's some weird shit in Colorado, I'll tell you that. There is some weird ass shit.
That's funny.
You go downtown and you like really look around and there's some just weird shit. Yeah, it's fucking. There's like a Masonic temple down there.
Yeah.
Off Spear. There's like stories you hear too, like the tunnels and shit, or like if you've been to the airport, obviously, the gargoyles coming out of the fucking suitcases and shit. Like, it's just weird, cryptic shit. So that would be a good podcast.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk. We're gonna have to do a different type of interview.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, man. Wrapping things up. Do you have any goals for specifically 2022, or just and beyond? What are some goals that you're trying to achieve this year, maybe?
So yeah, I mean, that cat Ryan Allen I was telling you about, we really have been collaborating on as much like visual to his music as we can. So the next, I really want to get the few projects he has just into a space where we have a budget and people are starting to take us seriously, and like being able to create these videos that we want to. You know, we're working on super limited budgets, and we're making it work pretty well. So I think that's the goal, is to get like the business to a point where we have a running capital and the budget is people see what the vision, right? Which I don't know. I mean, I guess which is like just being as different as we possibly can. I definitely, like I said, I love that specific cinematographer, Deacon's like that vision, you know, or at least the feeling, right, that it gives you.
Yeah.
So that's I want to get to a point where we're all comfortable, like the team I've got, and what we're doing. So yeah.
Sweet,
I feel
man.
like it's a
that's
pretty
cool.
yeah. I feel like that's a pretty.
You're gonna have a lot. You're gonna have a busy year.
Yeah, like that's like it. I feel like it's doable, but you know, unless COVID for some reason, or this the variant bullshit, again. Whatever they're talking about next is happening, then we'll see what happens. But it's been good, man. Actually, which is funny, COVID's been really good to like, I guess, what people have been able to put out creatively.
Yeah, people have either done really good or really bad. Personally, professionally, you know,
yeah, there's
everything
really no
in COVID.
middle of the road. I think and I think it's really opened up everyone's like true creative, like I guess, like the button that's like
potential
boom,
almost.
yeah,
Yeah.
potential. Yeah. So to be like, I'm gonna do something creative.
Give everybody
right?
some time to think a little bit.
Which
maybe.
Saturates everything, but I think it's good. Like that's a good. People are discovering shit now, right? So that's just cool to see.
Absolutely. Any final words you want to give to the people?
Shout out TMac. Thanks for having me, brother. I appreciate you. Yeah, man. I just hope everybody starts to like listen to this shit and tap into what we're trying to do and stay high, I guess.
Hell yeah, man. We're out in Colorado. You know that's what we're doing.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Smoke some weed. Just be happy. Quit just shooting people out here would be tight. So, yeah. Just, you know.
Stay chill, people.
Stay chill, man.
Stay chill. Man, this is the longest interview I've done. This was awesome. I really appreciate you coming out here and having this conversation.
I appreciate you.
Being open. Because, you know,
you.
a lot of people don't want to be. So
I appreciate you.
Fuck yeah, man.
Right on, man.
We're out, yo. Peace.